Philippine English is the variety of English used in the Philippines by the media and the vast majority of educated Filipinos. English is taught in schools as one of the two official languages of the country, the other being Filipino, the national language, and the standardized version of Tagalog. Code switching is prevalent in informal situations. Sub-varieties of Philippine English are emerging based on the regional location and thus linguistic influences of the speakers. Orthography and grammar, Philippine laws and court decisions, with extremely rare exceptions, are written solely in English. English is also used in higher education, religious affairs, print and broadcast media, and business, though the people who use it as a second language far outnumber those who speak it as a first language. Still, for highly technical subjects such as nursing, medicine, computing and calculus, English is the preferred medium for textbooks, communication, etc. Very few would prefer highly technical books in the vernacular. Movies in English were usually not dubbed. However, in recent years, they are dubbed so that the general audience can understand. Because English is part of the curricula from primary to tertiary education, many Filipinos write and speak in fluent English, although there might be differences in diction and pronunciation. Most schools in the Philippines, however, are staffed by teachers who are not native Anglophones and thus think using Austronesian instead of Germanic grammatical structures. Non-standard usage arises from their second language acquisition of English. Philippine English follows American English spelling and grammar, except when it comes to punctuation as well as date notations. For example, a comma almost never precedes the final item in an enumeration. Except for some very fluent speakers, even in English language media, dates are also often read with a cardinal instead of an ordinal number even if the written form is the same. Phonology, most of the native Malayo-Polynesian languages of the Philippines do not contain the F phoneme. Thus, some Filipinos substitute P for F when they pronounce English words containing F. Some even pronounce English words that normally do begin with P, with an F, through hypercorrection due to confusion over which pronunciation is required. Like F, the B sound is also virtually non-existent in most major native languages of the Philippines. Partly because modern Spanish does not distinguish between B and B, some of the older generation of Filipinos would pronounce the letter B in all English words as B. Languages of indigenous minorities that had limited contact with the Spanish colonial government often retain the B sound. The F sound also occurs in some of them. Examples are the Ivotan language, Ibanag language, and languages of the Lumad tribes in Mindanao and Visayas. All of them are minor indigenous languages of the Philippines. The Ibaloy tongue in the Baguio-Benguet area of northern Luzon also has naturally occurring F and B sounds, as in Shifa and Ivit. The modern spelling of the name of one of the most numerous ethnic groups of the Philippines, the Manobo tribes of Mindanao, is actually the Hispanized spelling of the original Manobo word Manuva. Some of the other sounds that Philippine languages lack include E, A and Eo. Virtually all lack E unregistered trademark. The sound E is replaced with I, so the pronunciation of the words bit, and beat, bit, hit, and heat, hit, and fill, and feel would be the same, respectively. Words such as back, bark-a, and buck, biok, cat, carti, and cut, sioit, and pass, pa-s, and pus, pios respectively would also have the same pronunciation since a, and eo are not distinguished and all would be pronounced as a. With the exemption of e unregistered trademark sound in word endings ble, for, and pled, which are replaced with o, e unregistered trademark in cle, gled, gle is either replaced with e, which is more commonly used, or o. Google, EEA, e unregistered trademark l, would be read as EEAL, and handle, EHND, e unregistered trademark l, would be e-handle. Also depending on the spelling as Filipinos read based on how the word is spelled, travel, e-travi, e unregistered trademark l, would be e-trabel, computer, K unregistered trademark me pjute unregistered trademark R, as, comb pjuter, and circle, say unregistered trademark RK unregistered trademark L, read as, circle or, circle. A phenomenon among the older generation of Filipinos is their pronunciation of all the English words starting with S+ consonants such as star, spade, stampede, slide, stigma, statue, sky, stable, strict, and stew. These words are pronounced by some of them as a star, a stampede, a stigma, a statue, estable, a strict, and estu, because these older people were exposed to the Spanish language and were used to the Spanish system wherein there are no words starting with S+ consonant, but instead is plus consonant. Thus, estra, estampta, estigma, estatua, estable, estricto and estafado. Another issue is suprasegmentals. In pronunciation, emphasis often tends to be put on the wrong syllable of a word or on the wrong word in a sentence as compared to North American English or British English. This issue is likely rooted in the aforementioned Spanish influence and often occurs with English words with Latin roots. However, this is not the case for many fluent Anglophone speakers, who learn to pronounce and emphasize the proper stress correctly, mostly with help and guidance from their teachers or tutors. Vowels, as mentioned above, the schwa is featured in some Philippine languages. Consonants, among mother tongue speakers, the phonology of Philippine English almost completely resembles that of the North American variant, while the speech of those who are not native speakers is influenced to varying degrees by indigenous Philippine languages. Since many English phonemes are not found in most Philippine languages, pronunciation approximations are extremely common. Some examples of non-native pronunciation include, Arai equals, Eri, Filipino equals, Pilipino, Victor equals, Biktor, family equals, Pamilay, Pamilay, Varnish equals, Barnis, fun equals, Pan, or, Pan, vehicle equals, vehicle or, vehicle, lover equals, laber, find equals, pajnd, official equals, pi squared el, very equals, bari or, bari, guidon equals, don, hamburger equals, himbird squared, high-tech equals, hartets, hubcap equals, habcab, margarine equals, Miri degree Celsius Erin, Seattle equals, say squared 8, Shaco equals, say squared eco, Danielle equals, Ednjl or, Dangel, liege/ledge equals, lied rhymes with age, Rachel equals, re florinel, special equals, esp florinal or, esp florinal rhymes with spatial, 20 equals, e20. The above list applies mainly to monolingual Filipino language speakers. A number of other indigenous languages, mentioned previously, employ phonemes such as f, v, and z. This form of mispronunciation, caused by the limited sound inventories of most Philippine languages compared to English, is generally frowned upon by Anglophone Filipinos, in particular, and businesses dealing with international clients. Industries based on English, the abundant supply of English speakers and competitive labor costs have enabled the Philippines to become a choice destination for foreign companies wishing to establish call centers and other outsourcing operations. English proficiency sustains a major call center industry, and as of 2005, America Online has 1,000 people in what used to be the U.S. Air Force's Clark Air Base in Angeles City answering 90% of their global email inquiries. Citibank does its global ATM programming in the country, and Procter & Gamble has over 400 employees in Makati, a central Manila neighborhood, doing back-office work for their Asian operations including finance, accounting, human resources and payments processing. Call center industry in the Philippines, an influx of foreign students, principally from South Korea, has also led to growth in the number of English language learning centers, especially in Metro Manila, Baguio City and Metro Cebu. Vocabulary and usage. Some words and phrases and their respective definitions or uses are peculiar to Philippine English. Some examples are, Certain phrases uncommon outside of the Filipino community often crop up in Philippine English: will be the one, and will be the one who will, instead of will. For example, I will be the one who will go, rather than I will go. To open-close an appliance device instead of to turn on-off an appliance device. The reason for this is because the Filipino words buksan, pitain, and asara, in the manner used in the sentence, have no direct translation to the English word to turn on-off. The usage of these kinds of phrases is generally discouraged by most English tutors and teachers today. See also: International English, English as a second or foreign language, Formal Written English, List of dialects of the English language, Regional accents of English speakers, Special English, Philippine literature in English, List of loanwords in Tagalog, Iinglog, English Tagalog code switching based on English, Taglish, Tagalog English code switching based on Tagalog, references. Further reading: Akar, A. Models, Norms and Goals for English as an International Language Pedagogy and Task-Based Language Teaching and Learning. The Asian EFL Journal, Volume 8. Issue 3, Article 9. Manapak, Danilo. When I was a child I spoke as a child, reflecting on the limits of a nationalist language policy. In Christian Meyer. The Politics of English as a World Language, New Horizons in Post-Colonial Cultural Studies. Rodopi. 2003, cited February 18, 2011. ISBN 978-90-420-0876-2. PA 479 Euro 492. Lerner, Ted. Hay, Joe, A Slice of the City, An American in Manila. Book of Dreams, Verlag, Germany 1999. External links: The Language Planning Situation in the Philippines, by Andrew Gonzalez, FSC, with sections on Philippine English, by Tom MacArthur. Reinstatement of English as a Medium of Instruction by the Department of Education, English Proficiency in Cebu, American or Philippine English,